that is so important. That is like the most important thing, especially for auditions, for all of that nonsense. It's so difficult. It can be so difficult, but if you take it and spin it and look at it as an opportunity just to show them how you would do it, and don't expect the job, don't expect anything, because they're, really letting go of expectation is such a gift for anybody. But also having the drive, knowing that you want to, knowing that you love it, that you're passionate about it, but also allowing it to come to you when when it's time,
Right.
not pushing and clawing your way anywhere. Just like really being present, really being authentic, and knowing that your time, whatever it is that you're going to do in life, or whether it's acting or whether it's something else, your time will come if you are in a place of love and a place of kindness and a place of passion, of joy, of feeling joy. And I remember very specifically going to the audition for my Broadway debut for Beauty and the Beast, and very specifically, and I was prepared. I'd done my homework. I knew how I wanted to portray this character. But I also remember that feeling of being so aligned and authentic in that moment, and it felt so fun. And not all auditions are fun, but this one felt so fun. It wasn't work in any way. I just knew that was, it's that alignment. It's that place of, of synchronicity where you just know you're right exactly where you're supposed to be. And that's all you need to do. And that's what it was. And that's happened to me a lot in my life. And when I can tap into that place, I know I'm going to get whatever I'm seeking. If it's not there and I feel like I'm pushing and clawing and striving for something that doesn't, that I really want, but it's just not quite right, I know it's not going to happen. And so I let it go. It's really, it's such a simple concept, but it's so hard to practice and so hard to like really get a feel for,
Yeah, and even if you're not right, but you brought your authentic self, like the director may go, you know what, she's not right for this, but I liked her.
Precisely.
Right? Like you never know what kind of an imprint
Precisely.
you make. But when you're authentic, there is nothing more like memorable than an authentic, fun-loving person who's like putting their heart out there and saying like, this is what I think. This is what this is what I think this character is. And even if they're not right, hey, I remember auditioning for a movie in Austin, and I wasn't right, but they liked me, and they brought me back. Like, we have this other part. We're going to try you here, and that wasn't right. And we got one more part, and I never got anything in that movie, but it was so fun to watch them try to figure out where I fit. Like,
well,
we
they
liked
liked
him.
you. They just weren't
me.
sure
They're
where
like,
to
we
put
want
you.
to use you. You're too big for this, but we're going to let you read for it anyway.
Yeah.
But I just thought like that was telling that I brought kind of an authenticity to the table. Like I brought a playfulness, or like, hey, let's figure this out together. And I don't know. So I think that's another place that you really got to find. So let's say you had a big audition coming up, that was a role you really, really wanted, or something that was really going to align with like who you are right now. Like, and you wanted to show up authentic. Besides, like preparing for the audition and memorizing, knowing the person, the aspects of the audition. What are some things you would do day of? You talk about mindfulness. You talk about meditation. What are some things you would personally do day of to make sure you're in the right space to be able to really be authentic?
It is about getting into the zone, I think. But I'll tell you, 90% of it for me is preparation. So before the day of, I've already done the work. I've already done everything that's going to make me feel confident on the day. I've learned the song. I've memorized the script. Whatever it is, I've, whatever it is, I waxed my eyebrow that day. Whatever, those days. Whatever it is that's going to make me feel I am ready to play this part. And I'm going to get out of my head because I'm not worried about being prepared. The day of is easy. I'm going to just wake up. I'm going to have my coffee. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to be really sweet and kind to myself. I'm going to do really chill. I'm going to be chill and I'm going to stay in the zone. And the zone to me is really staying focused and staying hyper aware and hyper present. And then you just say, okay, I've done the work. I'm just going to pull from it. It's when you're not prepared that is when you can lose it in my experience. And so I just make sure that I'm prepared before. And then it's just fun because then you can play. You're not worried about messing up or whatever. You know what I mean? You can just, and if you do mess up, you just go, oh, well, you know, I'm not perfect. Nobody is. So I'm just going to try again. And yeah, I mean, I honestly think it's staying in the zone. And athletes, I'm sure, have a similar way of doing it. You know, eat something that's going to make you feel good, do things that are going to keep you, you know, focused. Um,
Stay off social
stay
media.
stay off social media.
Yeah,
Period. Always, forever. But yes.
always. Especially the
But
day of an audition or performance. Yeah.
oh yeah, do everything that's going to make you feel your best,
Yeah.
whatever that looks like. Be super, super kind to yourself. And 9 times out of 10, as long as I do those things, I go in and let go of all expectation and generally book the things that I want to book that I'm that passionate about, you know,
Yeah.
and um and let go of anything that wasn't meant to be.
When I was in New York City at the Maggie Flanagan studio, she talked about your honorable selfishness. And like,
Yes,
it was those two
it
words
is
put
honorable.
together was so hard to wrap, it's like
I
selfish,
know.
so hard to wrap your head around that and
Well, we're taught
honorable.
selfishness is a negative thing,
Right.
and it
But
can be.
well,
But you
self-care
have to
is a
self-care
much better word.
first.
But
Yes, it
but
is.
you're
It
right.
is.
You're right. But I
Self,
think that
self, you
whether
must
you're art,
choose yourself
whatever time,
first.
yes, yes. And I
You
think
must.
as a mom, as a parent, as a performer, an athlete, or just somebody who wants to like live at a consistently high level in their life, showing up well over and over again, like it's just it has to be a part of your day. It has to be. But
Yes.
I think you talk about an
A
audition
conscious
that's like a
choice.
yes, and it's a heightened moment where like, hey, I've got an audition today. Let's say it's at 5 o'clock in the evening. I'm going to be purposeful about how I lead myself up to that moment,
Yeah.
right? And I think sometimes we can do it for those big moments, but do we do it for our day to day practice?
That's the tough thing
Yeah,
is prioritizing a random Tuesday where you just don't want to do anything, whatever that is. Prioritizing your self-care is much more difficult on a day where, you know, the stakes aren't high, but it's just as important,
yeah,
and if not more, because that's setting up your practice. That's setting up a habit. And the habit is the hardest thing to form. And once then you have it, it's just maintaining it and nurturing it. And if you don't choose yourself to prioritize, you are doing a disservice to everyone else around you because you are not fully present for anyone else.